Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, Iowa soccer supporters. I'm Ben Brackett, your Soccer Talk co-host, alongside Blake Sievers, my good buddy. How you doing?
Good morning, Ben. Good to be back in the studio.
Speaking of back in the studio, we've got a second-time guest or a two-time guest here, and also first-time national champion David Groves, the Grandview men's head coach. Dave, what's up?
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys. Appreciate it.
Well, let's just start with the big news, right? I mean, I think everybody that's listening would know that Grandview won the national title this year. But congratulations.
Thank you.
I'd say
Coach of the year, too, Ben.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. So I'm glad you didn't big time us.
Well, congratulations. So this is your third season now in charge of was it your third full season in charge of the program?
Yeah, well, fourth season. But yeah. I mean, I think just been here now just over, we'll be going on my fourth year as well, upcoming in April.
Some good progress. I don't even really know where to start. I mean, I want to say, like, how do you feel about it? But I feel like you probably talked about that.
Yeah. I mean, obviously it was a really special achievement without a doubt. I just, I mean, we kind of thought the season we could do it. Obviously, like, you go through the season and you've got, obviously different hurdles, injuries, things like that. But we really felt like if we could get fit before the tournament that we could make a run. And so, I mean, it sounds kind of crazy, but we almost like sacrificed the conference tournament a little bit where we were like resting guys just because we were like, man, if we already felt like we were in after we won the first game with an at-large bid, first game in conference tournament against CMU. And so, honestly, we gave guys, it was kind of crazy looking back at it, but we were like, we basically categorized, because there's a gap between the conference tournament and the national tournament, and so we categorized guys in 3 different areas, and we were like, okay, we can see some of these guys are experiencing burnout, like, let's give them a week off. Got a few guys you need to try to get into form, like, let's give them, like, individualized training, and then, some other guys that just basically maintain fitness. So, like, we just basically split them up into 3 categories, and then we were like, let's do this. We really loved the matchup with the number 1 seed. Just basically our strengths compared to what I felt like their perceived weaknesses were. So it's just like, we were like really excited with how the draw laid out, matchups, everything.
So you guys were not exactly favored.
No.
Talk through that a little bit.
So we were, I think we were actually like the 17th seed in the whole tournament.
Are they 32 or
there's 32? Yeah. So, well, actually I think there's a couple.
Yeah, 32, but
There's a few buys.
play it. Yeah.
Yeah.
First round games, right? That are 2-4s.
Yeah, I think like 4 get automatic bids, the final site, and then it's like 32 playing games. So I guess 36 teams.
Sure.
But
So you're like middle of the group.
high or whatever. So we were right on the border of hosting, which again I thought was another really good thing. Is we weren't always the best at what I called like winning out of a hotel. You guys know it's
Yeah.
a little more difficult on the road, and like just all the things that come with being on the road, and the shared beds, and all the little things that we sometimes forget about. And so I thought it was great that we had a road game against a really good Indiana Wesleyan team. Just kind of prepared us, and we were so desperate to get to that final site that when we got through, and 17 meeting 16, and then 16 obviously think goes against number 1, we were like, all right, let's go, let's do this.
I mean, the national tournament is a little bit interesting, right? Because it's down there in Florida. There's
Alabama or Florida?
Orange Beach.
Sorry. Okay, there you go.
All right, sorry.
Making sure.
Interesting you right now. We're like just there for correction.
I mean, everybody goes to the same kind of facility, the same spot, right? And so I don't just talk. I'm just curious how that goes, because you guys are playing. There's games going on as well adjacent to you, and then you're trying to scout other ones. Like, how does that even work?
So there's this one facility where all the games are played at. So it's just like game after game from 10 a.m. I think one day there's 6 games. No, wait, it's 4 and then 4 on Monday, Tuesday.
So it's quarterfinals. So it's basically the top 8 teams. Yeah. No, your top 16 teams are the ones that are top 16.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
So there's 4 hotels, right? And then there's 4 teams in a hotel. So it's always kind of interesting. It's like all of a sudden one day, bunch of people running around. Next day, half the people are gone. And then you're kind of staring at your opponent at breakfast, a little bit, because it's all the same teams in the pod.
Sure.
And, but it's just cool to I got to know a lot of the coaches and just, we're all kind of in a similar situation and wanting the same things. And, but I couldn't be more impressed with how the NAI organized it. I thought it was really good. They gave us like a contact that made like meal planning a lot easier on the road. Now we kind of rotated the same restaurants over and over again, but overall, I mean, it was just a really cool experience. Yeah.
Because you guys are down there, right? You play on the 1st of December.
Yeah.
So you're down there a day before at least, and then you play the finals on the 8th. So that's over a week.
Yeah. Yeah. We were there for 10 days total.
I just can't imagine keeping the team sane for that long.
Yeah. It's like, I mean, the process just becomes like, I remember someone once was like, oh, good morning, happy Friday, or, happy, what they do? It's like Groundhog Day, though. Yeah. And you're like, oh, it's Friday, because everything just became like repetitive, right? It was just basically like up, breakfast, training, lunch, recovery with the athletic training staff. And then, we're coaches going in, cutting film, preparing the scouting reports, things like that. And then it was like presenting the scouting report, dinner, like bed. So it was just this, everyone was kind of like, oh, it's
Camp almost.
Yeah, it was almost like everyone was like, oh, it's a vacation. I was like, it's the opposite of the vacation. It was just kind of like,
Well, that's because they're not class.
yeah. And it was just sort of this, like, for us especially, but I think with the players, like, we had some planned activities, but for the most part, like, they were just happy to go back and rest. And games were, after the quarterfinals, games were 48 hours apart. So there was, it was pretty quick turnaround.
How many guys did you travel?
24, I think.
Is there some scenario where you, like, let's say somebody, I don't know, a couple guys dropped off, could you just, like, send back to Des Moines and get a couple more to come down, or what?
So you have to submit the roster beforehand. So no matter what,
So those are your guys.
yeah, someone goes down, that's what you work with. And we did have a few guys go down, and we had one kid in particular that was like an awesome story that just completely stepped up in kind of an unfamiliarized position. Really helped us, especially at the semifinal final.
Talk about the team then. Good little segue. Who you guys had? I mean, you guys defensively were obviously really good in the tournament.
Yeah.
Kind of throughout the year, but
Yeah.
a little mix and match of kind of a lot of different backgrounds, a lot of different ages, everything.
For sure. I think this season we realized like defensively we're like, okay, we're pretty good. Like we've got a great back line. So we focused a lot of our season on our defensive structure, transitions. We were quite good at set pieces as well. So we kind of like, which obviously you add those up and that's a pretty effective combination.
Yeah, a lot of ways to win and difficult to beat.
Yeah, for sure. And so we basically had, our goalkeeper was Defensive Player of the Year. So, I mean, I could go all day about him.
We'll give some names a shout out. So,
Yeah.
I mean, we'll start.
Lewis Helm. We actually brought him in as our third keeper. He didn't have much of a background in Germany.
I feel like we talked about this guy at one point because you were kind of excited about him.
Yeah. I mean, we honestly brought him in because, like, we always said we had quick wingers, and we were like, his distribution was fantastic, and we were like, okay, well, can't see a ton on the goalkeeping side of things from this video, and he didn't really match the criteria that we usually look for with international kids. But we were like, man, and his distribution's out of this world, and he just kept growing, training, growing, and AJ Thompson, who I think you guys know pretty well, did a great job with Muffin. Yeah, they had a great relationship, and he was outstanding. I mean, to go through a whole season and not have a goal on your name as a keeper is like, that's a phenomenal achievement. Wow. And so we also had a center back. He actually came to us from University of Central Arkansas as a grad student. He was NAI Player of the Year. He was our captain, leader, Kevin Ventura. He was just awesome. I mean, he's like not the biggest guy in the world. I compare him a lot to like Cannavaro,
Sure.
but like just an outstanding leader. I mean, he made everyone around him better.
He was a Player of the Year as a junior.
He was the senior.
Senior, okay.
Graduate senior. So he's actually already done. He moved back to Salt Lake, got himself a job, married. You know, he just wanted one more season to try to like do something special.
Pretty sweet. And going out on top.
Yeah, yeah. Kind of just cleaned up awards, you know, first team All-American, MVP of the tournament, National Player of the Year. Super cool. But like having him as a leader was like transformative, you know. Peyton Chapman, yeah, I know, been around for a while.
Tiger.
Yeah, yeah. He was awesome this year, man. Like I think he was both. So in the final, everyone knew we had a long throw, which, you know, people debate. Like, there's certain ethos of like, oh, are they just huck the ball in the box? But, you know,
When you can do it.
Are we winning games or what are we doing here?
we basically chose
Play with a long thrower.
yeah,
great.
Yeah, it's great. It's a great way to manufacture pressure. And so we kind of everyone knew it, so everyone would just like hack the box. So we basically, and Peyton would take our long throws. Well, we had someone like go over that could also take a long throw. Fake it to Peyton put across it, and we scored the first goal that way. And then Peyton, I think, we had the delivery also for the second goal. So like that left foot was awesome, and just like maturity again. Who he is as a person. Like I love Peyton. Irish kid Dylan fit really well, a center back. But you go through our team, and you know I could go through every single piece, but like we were just very like, I mean, obviously like you have to buy into the roles. You have to have, right, like, but we were such a good, like, and more than anything, had such high character kids too. Like
I was gonna ask how much of it you felt like was like tactics, you know, and you just being like a genius coach, or like how much of it is like the culture of the team and the guys coming together. Like, you know, obviously I was sort of teasing when I said, you know, I was
for sure, no, yeah.
but you know, I mean, like, you know, how much of it is that piece, or is it a lot of it at this level? You know, like the team.
Yeah, it's the team. It's like, I mean, you get like high-end characters, right?
So you're getting like the right leaders.
Yeah, yeah. It's so much about dynamic and like how, you know, when you like, and just, you know, that was a hard thing over a couple of years is we were like, man, we've had too many egos, you know, and like, so once you get to, I think, a certain point, it's like, and any coach knows this, is like, I mean, I think the most frustrating thing for a coach is always is like, why aren't we ready today? You know, does it take like a big pregame speech? Does it take like, you know, getting after people at halftime? You know, is it like how they slept the night before? I mean,
A different pump up song.
yeah, like and for us, it was just like we were always so confident. We're like, no matter what, these guys are always going to like play towards maximum capacity. And then, you know, when those guys are leaders, I think the other pieces kind of follow. And so it's like, if your leaders at the top display like such high-end character, it's kind of like the rest of the group follows in line. And I'm not someone who's going to sit here and be like, oh, you know, tactical genius. Our recipe was really quite simple, you know. I mean, like I said, defensive structure, sound, right? Set pieces, obviously repetitive, but we were dangerous in those areas. And then a big believer in transition, especially with like the speed he had in attack. Like we could quickly, if like, you know, there were a lot of spaces in between lines. And, you know, honestly, what we struggled most against was probably teams that sat in, gave us the ball. But we could like punish you, you know, if you opened up the game with that, we were going to kind of carry the part.
Go ahead if you were gonna. Don't know. I was talk about you talk about the leaders, but talk about like how you picked your team essentially over the past 3 years. Because, you know, when you came in, you talked about because obviously you came in kind of a weird circumstance, right? Coach Blair Reed had retired.
Yeah.
And then essentially like the assistant staff or the rest of the staff kept the team going.
Yeah.
And then brought you in, and then you were just sort of like, okay, here's the team. You didn't. I don't think you even had time to recruit or anything. And then since then you had to go from a full team of people that, you know, that weren't yours, which is like, it isn't even a knock on those kids.
Sure.
It's just, it's your program now. Right. So how have you done that over 3 years?
Yeah. I mean, I think along the way, obviously, you know, we learned some lessons in terms of like, again, going back to like the high character piece, like when we recruited, I would say in the last like 18 months in particular, one, we were looking for, well, we kind of went into a few areas. Transfer portal, even at NAI, has changed things dramatically, right? And so, we went after guys that either A, maybe they were at Division Ones where they weren't winning a lot and they wanted the chance to win something. B, they're at Division Ones and they weren't getting the minutes or the role that they wanted, and they wanted to go and prove themselves. The other area we recruited were junior college captains, guys who would like have leadership potential, and then obviously as well local. And what I mean by local is the Iowa kids. And like I was telling you before we started, number six, Braden Cheney, like from Burlington, came in, tall, skinny, gangly kid. Like we couldn't take him off the field. Actually joked, like a coach was like, I was really watching your team, but he was like, who's the guy who looks like he'd come over your house and repair your refrigerator? He was like, he's the one guy you can't lose, isn't he? And I was like, well, yeah, he's one of two, but like, it just like performed such like an important job for like the group. And so I love the development aspect of it, but it sometimes just, it takes some time to get those guys in.
So since we're talking about the Iowa kids real quick, talk about how you found, you say it's Brady Cheney?
Braden Cheney.
Braden Cheney.
Yeah, it was actually a former player, and he kind of helped out for a little bit. It was Brody Ertzinger was from that area, and he kind of referred him, and he had been playing ODP and different things, and so he came with good recommendations, and just like other high character kid. But and Amir Oric, you might remember him.
Dragon.
Yeah, he was having a great year. He tore his ACL, unfortunately. But like, and then Wilmot Mena, other Dragon, Wiz Newhard, Peyton Chapman, they were all like very major components for us.
So I just think that's interesting. You've got all of these kids, and we were talking beforehand. They weren't all kids that came to you like straight away.
Yeah.
Right? They were kids that maybe went away or tried something else.
For sure.
And then you just had an interesting path to get there.
Yeah. I think Wilmot was third school.
Newhard's at Wartburg, right?
Peyton was at Wartburg. Shaney, this was his first school, only school. Newhard, first school, only school. Amir, first school, only school. But like a lot of those
Off there.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're at the very much.
Two out of 5, yeah. But it's just, they're all great guys.
Well, and I guess maybe the other thing we were talking about before is how many of those guys were ready when they came to you right away?
Newhard hit the ground running pretty quick, but he had such a unique skill set.
Yeah.
But like, Shaney, Amir, we both redshirted their first years. And I know that's not always the word everybody wants to hear, but I love the redshirt process. And the way I always look at it is like, what are you going to be when you're 23 rather than 18? It's like there's a massive difference in who you are as a player at that point.
College game now, right? With everybody getting older and older. If you're an 18-year-old freshman that weighs 178 pounds, it might be going up against a 23-year-old man.
Yeah.
And like that is difficult.
Oh, completely. Yeah. And there's, I know it's like, and I understand, like, and I'm always supportive. I've been a junior college head coach, and I'm supportive of the junior college process of going in and getting minutes for development. Like, that's totally, I'm cool with that. Always find your right fit. But I think that, the amount of development that you get in every aspect, right? Obviously, you're going to develop technically, but physically, I think, is the biggest one. And you get someone in a more like consistent regimen where they're like kind of living the lifestyle that way. Like you see such growth and development. And I'm a big advocate for it. I think it's, obviously the bigger schools are doing it all the time. We talked earlier how Washington have tons of guys redshirting. And so I just think that utilizing that extra years is is such an asset if players binding to her.
Talk about recruiting a little bit. One, I'm assuming it's gotten different this off season than it has been the last couple of years. But what are you guys doing? Where are you going? How are you doing? The local Iowa guys, like kind of all over the place. What's the plan?
Yeah. I mean, we would love to. I would love to get more Iowa guys, and I've said that for a while. I mean, we always do what we can, you know. But I still think that we underutilize the. I call it the full Pell ITG. So I mean, if you get full Pell, so if you're from a lower income household, I mean, the state basically more than doubles the amount of the Pell Grant. So you're looking at like 15,000 in government aid. So we can then easily grab kids that live at home and go to school for free. Like, and I've always said, I'm like, man, and I get it. Like maybe you've got 5 brothers and sisters you got to take care of at home, and like, you know, you never thought college was a possibility. Like, we'll work with you to a certain extent, right? You can't like just miss everything all the time. But, you know, in worst case, it's like, we put you in our reserve JB program, and you still get that free college education. And that's like, for me, I just always look at it like, man, this is kind of like a no-brainer. But, you know, we want to definitely bring in a few more local kids. You know, we do look all over for impact players, right? You know, right now we've signed one guy who was a starter at Rhode Island and won a national title with Iowa Western a few years back. You know, probably looking at 5-6 more real kind of like impact players.
He was a starter at URI,
Yeah.
and he's transferring into Des Moines
Yep. Yeah.
because he wants to play for the national champions.
That's basically he wants to, and I think there's sort of a thing, especially when these kids get older too. They're like, and no disrespect, we all know Division I is the best, highest level, right? But you know, it's like, if you look at it from a kid's perspective, it's like scraping it out, trying to make the playoffs to get in the tournament, or like trying to have the experience of winning a, you know, national title. And maybe in your last year, you're like, I don't really want to scrape it out, trying to make the playoffs and win 5-6 games. And so I think there is a niche for us there in terms of recruiting.
So we talked to a local product, Andrew Heckenleibel. He just went to St. Louis at St. Louis University. Went to the Final Four.
Yeah.
And we were just kind of teasing like, oh, what's the transfer portal like for you guys now? And he was kind of, oh, it's actually kind of crazy because, you know, people are using the NIL thing and, you know, basically saying, hey, I could go somewhere else potentially.
Yeah.
I was just curious, what's it look like down for you? I would assume it's a lot of incoming. You're probably getting a lot of incoming inquiries.
Yeah, definitely.
There's probably not a lot of guys wanting to leave. Unless are there guys that are trying to leave to like better their, like, okay, hey, I won a national title.
Yeah.
I'm ready to play D1.
Yeah. I mean, we definitely run into that to an extent. You know, and I just tell them, like, just be upfront, open with me, you know, and then like, let's look at the offer, right? And that's what's changed so much now is like, you know, I won't name program names, but it's like with the NIL deals, I mean, some guys are getting like $5,000 preloaded like gift cards the day that they moved into the dorms, you know, and so it's like that plus full is like little difficult to compete with. But you know, with a lot of these like guys, it's always just like, you know, bring the offer to me and like, let's look at it. Are you going to be like a major player for this program? Is this program going to increase your like exposure, right? Because, you know, for example, like we have a kid right now, he's playing for, you know, he got his first cap for the Aruban national team. And like, you know, we have plenty of guys playing USL too. So like we are pushing and we have those pro avenues like open, right? As where, but there's no, like if a guy comes in and he's given a full ride, a few years ago, we had a guy going a full ride to Hofstra, like top 25, you know, New York City, Manhattan, I think. Like, I mean, he came in and we're like, dude, probably should take this, you know, type thing. So as long as people are open, like, I think you got to do what's right by the kid. Like, I mean, if there's a cool opportunity that comes your way, I'm never going to, like, tell them, turn it down, you know.
So how do you level up now? You're like recruiting moving forward. you know, because I mean, in theory, you should be like the program
Yeah.
that everyone wants to come to.
Yeah, I mean, I still think we got to do a better job locally for sure. You know, and I mean, I like, you know, I mean, maybe we even need to look at like relationships and between the clubs and high schools and different capacities. But, you know, that would be a major thing is hit local a bit more. But, you know, I mean, that's the biggest thing we keep saying is like we still want like the right character guys, because that was for us the biggest thing that led to our successes here was like high character individuals, and we don't want to take a risk that makes us go backwards in that part.
You got a lot to replace.
Yeah, we have a left back, center back, well, midfielder, maybe another midfielder, and then a winger. Yeah.
So yeah, what half your squad?
Yeah.
I mean, obviously some younger guys will you hope to step up.
Yeah,
So how do you figure this out?
Yeah, I mean, that's where you get paid the big bucks, I guess. Right? But it's yeah, I mean, we just again we're going after like I like going after players that are like a little more versatile as well too, because you don't know exactly how everything's gonna like fit together, but you know, it's something that we feel like, you know, kind of like we were saying before, it's like we need 5 or 6 probably high-end impact guys to really maintain our level. You know, if we end up with 3 or 4, like we feel guys we feel comfortable with stepping into roles and stuff. But yeah, I mean, that's just this part of the year is where you just, you know, recruiting's a grind. Like you get told no a lot. You dig in all over the place. I mean, it's like it's kind of an ongoing process that never ends. And so, you know, we just keep at it. You know, we got 4 coaches, so we can each kind of take specific areas and, you know, try to look for what we feel like are the right guys.
What do you like? Yeah, I was just saying, what do you like from? I mean, you want them to send you a highlight video? Do you want them to?
Yeah, if I'm a high school kid that it like is realistic, and I'm saying, hey, I have Grandview somewhere I want to go.
Yeah.
How do I get on your radar?
I mean, highlight videos are great. You know, I mean, we get so many of them though. I mean, I bet you I get like 100 emails a day at this point. I look for like really keywords, if I'm being honest, like some sort of unique accolade, you know, something that kind of stands out in that capacity. I mean, I know there's a lot of debate on right or wrong with ID camps. I still think ID camps are a great way to like expose yourself. You know, obviously here, Iowa has done a great job with like the state tournament, which is a great like recruiting tool as well. It's just kind of hard with the timing. Obviously, like a lot of kids have already made decisions or, but you know, it is tough to be like every place at once. But I think, you know, for local guys, I always say it's like just, you know, I still think like the ID camps or just reaching out to coaches, get their numbers. Like,
Does Grandview have an ID cam?
yeah, we do. We have, I think we do usually 3 or we have 2 open right now. So,
And then you probably go to other, like, if Drake has an ID camp, you might go to that as well.
yeah, we'll go to Drake. Like we've been going to, we're going to Wisconsin this summer. You know, so we'll go to like different events, but like, especially like, I like recruiting Iowa, you know, so I don't feel that I'm going to be sometimes the right fit for a kid. Like there's just so many other schools like in Wisconsin, right? The D-Freeze and it gives like that. So it's like, this is a market that I feel honestly like most comfortable in. And, you know, I think that we're just like a good landing spot for a lot of kids too.
What age can you start talking to? I don't even know the rule. Like, and then can they come in like train with you? Because I know Division II, I think they can train for like 1 session.
Yeah.
What's how does
We can like take them on like a official visit technically, and they can train. It's like a tryout if you can do it once.
Do you guys utilize? I mean, does that you guys do that, or is
We do. I mean, mostly, to be honest, like we try to filter guys into RD camps, and then you can recruit like a 5-year-old if you want. I mean, there's no rules regarding like any type of like dead periods or things like that. But I mean, a lot of times, like we try to push guys into RD camps, or I mean, we have a pretty good like extensive network. Like we know the guys that want to talk to in the state, and like we actively seek them out. But that doesn't mean you hit everything, And a lot of times, I think, I was listening to a podcast the other night. It was like, oh, kids just kind of think like, oh yeah, colleges that are just gonna be lining up at the door with scholarship offers, and it's like honestly, like most of the time, it's kind of the player that works towards like in most situations.
Are you getting this soundbite, Evan? I'm just teasing. I think this is something that like I feel like we talk about it all the time. That like really playing college or whatever level, because there's probably a butt for every seat if you want to play,
For sure.
right?
Yeah.
And if you really want to, but it's really like more of a marketing yourself job. Like, can you get yourself out there? Hacking the eyeball. I'm just using that as an example. But he talked about ID camps was the way that he got where he was going as well.
For sure.
I'm pretty sure we talked to Pat about that as well. Just like that, he thinks that that's a really good tool for them.
Yeah.
To recruit for a place like Des Moines.
Yeah.
Where you're not maybe, it's just it's not a big football school. It's not a basketball school. Right? Yeah.
well, you kill a lot of birds with the ID camp. You visit campus, you actually get to talk to coach, players, or right, like it's you feed on there. Not to me, that's the way.
Yeah. And it's, I mean, I say that it's like a trickle down event. Like Drake, for example, is going to have D3s and NAIs, JUCOs, all at the event as well. Like they're going to know that, like, I've always said that as like D1s eat first. We all kind of like feed off the scraps a little bit. And it's like, so you'll know at that point, maybe there's 100 kids and you're the 3 to 5 that Drake want to actually talk to. And it's like, well, okay, the next 20, all right, might be interesting for the different levels. And and I think that just it's a localized smaller event that makes it, you're already going there, so that's saying there's interest. So then it's like, all right, if there's interest this way, because I mean recruiting is like, I mean us coaches, like you want to have lives, like we don't want to just like be in a plane all the time going to all these different events. Like I mean, and especially now with the way like obviously like recruiting services and technology and all those things, like you can do a lot of recruiting remote, to be honest.
I would think too that it says something as a from your standpoint as a coach, when a kid reaches out and says, hey, I'm interested in going there, you're like, oh, okay, well that's for sure, that makes me a little more interested. I mean,
Totally.
it's a weird dating game, but like you like to, everybody wants to be wanted, including the place, the school that you're trying to get to.
Totally. It just shows like, I mean, this shows a lot. Like, I mean, when we get a kid, it's like, I mean, I can't tell you how many times I get a kid that's like in my office who's like, well, coach, if I don't go to Division One, I'll come to Green. And you're like, well, you're not going to get one. But anyways, like it's just this sort of, I don't know, it gives you insight of the kid. I love it when a kid comes into this, like, I want to come there. This is the right fit for me. Like, shows me a lot of other character.
Talk about campus, some exciting things coming up.
Yeah.
Should we talk about it?
Hopefully. Yeah, we're getting
You could be kind of
we're getting a brand new turf field. So with lights, trying to see how far we can go with it in terms of expanding. Just like hopefully locker rooms and maybe a weight room, coaches' offices, built room, those types of things. And so really this is going to be something that I think is, it's awesome, the support from Grandview, to be able to get a project like this going. But I think that this is like going to set us into a different level. It's kind of our only need that we needed.
We talk about leveling up, before with your recruiting and stuff. You don't like that? Sorry.
That's the new buzzword I use.
My bad.
Everybody uses it now.
Sorry. Telling story. We're storytellers using the buzzwords. But I think that's the, I mean, so now you're training on campus, right? You're playing games on campus. So now, I mean, how hard was it to get students to come watch you guys play?
Yeah, that was always kind of a thing. Was like we would feel like we'd play in a not always the greatest atmosphere, you know.
Very, maybe quiet.
Yeah, very quiet and comparative to a lot of other programs. And so, I mean, this just kind of changes like the student athlete experience completely. And yeah, it's huge. It's a huge thing for us as a program to be able to get this done.
I feel like that was one of the first things you said when we met, when you moved to town. You were just like, how do we get a turf field on campus? I remember walking campus around with you just going like, where would we put it?
Yeah.
So it's awesome that you guys have gotten to this point.
Yeah, it's really cool, and like it's great to have like an administrators that like support, and that are like, this is a need, let's get it done. I mean, I can't ask for anything more.
Oh,
I like it. So I just like because the football has always been like powerful, wrestling obviously very strong as well, and the men's soccer program's always been really good from even before we were younger, Ben, right? And like finally to get over that hurdle is it's cool.
Yeah. No, it is. Yeah. I mean, no, I remember when I came in and I told John, who's been with me for, was it 8 years? I remember like calling him after the meeting with Troy, the athletic director, and I was like, I think this is a place you get a national title, because some people kind of looked at me and they're like, it's sort of a sideways step. I think actually at the time, my previous school, Lion, like we were ranked higher than Grandview in the final poll. So people were kind of like, what is this? And, like looking at it in a way where like, what's he doing here now? But knowing how Grandview operates and how, just the support and obviously the location of Des Moines and a lot of different factors, we were like, man, we feel like we could piece this together and try to make something cool happen. To do that in 4 years was really awesome.
We kind of skimmed over your staff, but you mentioned John. Talk about the rest of the guys that.
He's on my list. He's definitely big timed me the last few weeks. Saying, John, I see how this works.
Yeah. Talk about those guys because obviously you didn't do it alone.
Yeah. I mean, John has been with me forever. I was saying that like we had a little event and I've never met someone who loves exercise as much as John. So it's like he's just he's super passionate, high energy, high character. Just we work well together just through time, right? There's like it's kind of like we operate well together, which I think is really important. Matt DeBoer, he was another dragon.
All over the game.
Dragon.
All over.
Yeah, but he's done a great job of like, we actually gave him a lot more just kind of like training responsibilities, specifically with set pieces. And so that was really cool to see him kind of take off with that. He does handles a lot of the recruiting, especially the initial parts of recruiting, like the outreach, maybe the connection, those types of things. I'll swoop in sort of at the more final stages, but he does a great job with that.
Bringing the big guns at the right time.
Yeah. And then, and then we've got Marcos, who actually came to us this last. He basically started in the fall, actually, and he's done a great job. He does a lot of like individualized work with players. He's just really, he's really pushed on in terms of he's a young kid, but he's passionate and he's learning still kind of how running a program and different things operates so that you can run on and be a head coach. And it's great to see what he's bringing to the table. And then we've got AJ, who runs our goalkeepers that we kind of alluded to earlier, and he's done an awesome job as well.
I love that. Good for him. So how do you build the dynasty now? I think that's like the next piece, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's a tough one to answer because, I think more than anything, right now I really like where we're at from a cultural standpoint, and so it's like I will never again in my life throw that away for like an easy shortcut or taking I'm just less oriented towards like risk. And I think that when you get like the right group with the right characteristics, it's more enjoyable to manage. I think just the upside is a lot higher, you're always going to have like one or two or a couple but it's easier to deal with when it's in that kind of capacity. And so, I don't know that speak ahead and be like, oh yeah, we're going to build some awesome dynasty or something, but I'm just really pleased like where we're at is like culturally. And I just think we can just kind of continue to building this way and, be a great program to be at.
I think that's a nice little bow to wrap up with, unless you've got any other pitch for Grandview Vikings right now.
No more pitches.
Fairness,
Look at the Colts, right?
That's right, for sure. Well, it's been a pleasure chatting about it and seeing you again. And best of luck this next year.
Yeah. Thanks, guys.